Is it true that black people don't like to tip or don't tip enough? Let's talk about it.
Come and fly away with me. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I jumping off the.
So the other day we went out to dinner with some friends and we didn't have not such a great experience dining. It was outside, it was cold, so we all already had an attitude that we had to eat outside. And it was cold and it's because of the pandemic. But there's no excuse for bad customer service. But we all felt that they were giving us bad customer service. Now for me, even if I get bad service, I tend to at least tip about 15%. If it's excellent service, I'll give 20%. And that's just me because I've always felt that pressure of being a black person that we already have the stereotypical thing about we're not tipping. So I don't want that waiter to think that, oh no, here we go. He's not gonna tip. Our friends did not want to pay anything for the tip and I felt bad. So I let the tip anyhow, but I said, you know what, on the receipt we'll leave. Wasn't a great service, here's 15% anyway. Letting them know that even though the service wasn't great, we still tip. My friend said that was above and beyond. So I'm curious about what do you guys think about when it comes to tipping. Do you tip when it's a bad service as well? Whether you're black, white, or whatever the case might be, do you still tip for a good service as well as a bad service? I've seen some cases where I saw some black people did not tip when they were supposed to. As y'all know, I'm a flight attendant, and when we catch the van from the airport to our hotel, it's just tradition, not required, that we tip them $1. We tip them $1 for thanking him for lifting our bag in the van. I've been doing that for years. It's just automatic. I don't even think about it. Even when the ups or downs at the airlines, I've always tipped. When I was broke, I've always tipped. It's just automatic. I also tip the maids, the housekeeping. I always leave $1, which is not much, but shows you my appreciation that thank you for cleaning my room, even though I was only there for 12 hours. And my other crew members were like, you tip the housekeeper? I'm like, yeah, it's etiquette that you tip something, like you go on a cruise ship or you go on a vacation, you tip them. And that was the black girl who told me, but whatever. But one of the girls who didn't tip the van driver said that she's broke right now. She doesn't have the money to tip, so why should she tip? It's not required. And I was saying to myself, it's like, see, that's why we have that stereotype that we don't tip. I also have a friend who is a server at a fancy swancy restaurant, and he says that Latinos and black people, they tip, but they tip just doesn't matter what the service is. It's just that bare minimum. Some even go below the 15% when it comes to tipping. And himself is a Latino, and he believes that his own people and black people don't tip. And maybe I'm living in California in a dream world, but I've never been anywhere or with friends or out and not want to tip. So it was kind of shocking, surprising the other day when my friends didn't want to tip because of bad service. So again, definitely leave a comment down below if you tip even for a bad service, as well as a good service. I'm in the service industry. I'm a flight attendant, but as my airlines, we're not allowed to accept tips. And I always felt like we should. We're in the service industry, we're serving you food, but our company feels like we're paid enough that we don't need a tip. But wrong answer. But that's expected, no one tips the flight attendant, that's just part of the service and competition of flying our airlines that we have the best service. But there's a lot of places that a lot of people don't tip because they don't even know that they're supposed to tip, just like tipping your housekeeping, tipping the dry cleaners. Some of the things I also do, if I don't tip somebody all the time and I use them a lot, I might give them a Christmas bonus. Like your housekeeper, we tip her as well as give her a Christmas bonus. So there's many ways that you can compensate people for doing a great job. That's how they keep doing a great job, is that they feel that if you appreciate them, they'll appreciate you. For me, it also boils down to I hate confrontation. I feel like when I do have bad service, sometimes I just take it. I don't really complain. For example, like if my meat comes back and it's not cooked enough, I'm not that guy who will send it back because I'm thinking like, well, what's he gonna do behind the scenes and bring that back? Because I made him bring that steak back. I'll just eat it and accept it. And a lot of people think that you paid all this money, you should have the steak the way you want to. But I just feel like you pick your battles, and it's just, for me, it's not worth it. But again, would you take your meat back? Because that was another thing that our friends had did, that his steak wasn't cooked properly, and now he's making that person work harder. Maybe that's why the server had an attitude, is because, we weren't the best behavior. And I also, I put it as maybe it's just, it's COVID and people are struggling, things are going on. But that's no excuse to have bad service. I understand that part, but I just feel like, at least 70% of what he was doing was great. We got our food on time. Only one of the person's food wasn't cooked correctly to their needs. It was a great environment, or ambiance of the restaurant, even though it was outside. They had the heat lamps, which I appreciated because it was freezing cold, and that's the new norm now, eating outside until we're able to eat inside. I don't know. What do you guys think? Speaking of African Americans, don't forget it's February and it's Black History Month. Take a little time to learn about my culture, about Black people. Get a book, see a nice movie, but learn a little bit more about what African Americans go through in day-to-day life. So we won't have stereotypes like we don't tip or Black people are cheap. I know the Jewish people get that I don't want to say the derogatory, but they're tight, whatever. But this is the time where I take the moment to read, and I'm reading a great book. I'll leave it down below in the comment, but it's 400 Souls. It's a lot to read, but necessary. So yeah, get a book and learn something. You're gonna learn today. Also, speaking of tips, what I do as a service, and I do have a PayPal account down below. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it just got on my nerves watching our friends, people we know and friends with for a while. Hopefully they're not watching this video of me talking about them now that I think about it. It was just a conversation that I thought I needed to find out from other people. So that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to this channel. And like the video. Let's get this video up to the top. And I will see you guys in the next video or somewhere. Bye, girl, bye.
Come and fly away with me. Don't you be afraid.